It's only been a month since my last video, and I've dropped a bunch of short form videos in between that to keep you guys caught up, but I wanted to sit down and show you guys what has been going on behind the scenes. I was going to go in like chronological order, but what's happened has happened, so I might skip around a little bit. So starting here, this was when I was first cleaning out the first batch of eggs from the bin, and apparently I forgot one, or I didn't forget, but I missed it. And this one got really big while it was sitting in the substrate. It was in there for like 2 weeks by itself or something like that. And so I isolated this one by itself, gave it its own little glass cup, and I named it Zolo, or for solo, because it got away from the rest of the group. So it was kind of my fault since it happened. It's not like it got away or anything, but I'm gonna just call it that so I can like keep in mind like who they are in the whole batch of different larvae. Now we're also checking the weights on the established larvae that we have, and you can see they're getting pretty big. Like this one's definitely bigger than like my pinky finger, and you can see it's 10.9 grams, so we're over that double digit mark for grams. And I think for this species we want to aim for like the 30s or 40s. Typically you want to get up to like 30 to 40 grams, so that once they pupate they'll be a nice size, and pretty much like your reward for feeding them nutritious food is getting them bigger and bigger, having them live longer and healthier. And so that's why we're trading out the substrate here. Actually, I wasn't even making or putting new substrate in at this point because it hadn't been long enough. I was actually just checking on them and turning the soil over a little bit so that they would have more access to the wood. But you really shouldn't mess with them too much. But in these beginning stages, especially as I'm researching and making changes to the substrate itself, I always want to check on them. So I try to give it at least like a month or so, because you have to change out the substrate every month and a half. So if I see any problems arise, which recently it's been like a bit of a moisture problem, like too much moisture, because the soil is very active, it's steadily breaking down. And I'm figuring out different ways of controlling that through like moisture or temperature, but mostly moisture. If I keep the moisture right, it's been pretty good. Now you can see this larvae, I'm recording it now, it went from 7.9 to 9.1, so it gained like a good gram and some change. So that's super cool. Love to see that. But typically we would leave them alone for a little longer so they have like bigger jumps and they can get more situated. We really only want to mess with them when we're changing the substrate. That way they can just keep on chowing down. And yeah, so here I'm doing a mixture of two different substrates, just like a bunch of different experiments. And this is my Dorcas here. Dorcas looks really good, and I also have a Dorcas inside of this substrate that they call Kenshi, and this is pretty much just live mycelium that's eating the wood. And so the larvae will eat that wood while it's alive with the mycelium. So I've been working on all of this, especially on the little video on the right is some beetle jelly that I made for my beetles. You can check that out with the audio in my reels or shorts section, depending on where you go. And that's been fun to figure out too. Just I'm completely in control of their diet and seeing good results from all my adults. But my female adult, Momo, actually did pass away recently because I think she just reached the end of her natural stage of life, since she laid like over 100 eggs. And you can see these are her babies here. They're getting big now. Some of these are like as big as she was as a beetle, like this one here. She was like a little bit bigger than this one. But yeah, no sad times. She did her job. She dropped tons of eggs, and most of them survived through the process. That cup there with a bunch of little brown things, that's all beetle frass that I'm going to be using in some garden play a little later. And because I'm really trying to get back into plants, it's just about finding a plant that is suitable for my situation, like something I'm actually going to use, because I'm not a big fan of house plants, like something that just looks good. I want something that's nice and usable. Now in each one of these cups, at one point I had roughly 20 eggs per cup, and then I just let them incubate to see like which would germinate out. And when I separated all the eggs, I got like pretty much 100% germination, and they, you know, popped out and became larvae. But when I put them all together in one cup, only about half of them came out. So we have like a select amount in these cups now, in between 7 and 11 in each cup, so more than 40 ish, or about 40, close to 40. And then we have about 20 that are isolated in different cups, so we're sitting in between like 60 and 80, something like that, individual larvae that will eventually turn into beetles. But they're all going to be on different substrates so that we can collect some good data. As you can see, there's a lot of variance in sizes, even though like all of these were on the same substrate. And yeah, so you can see all of them together. They're all slightly different sizes. That could be like male, female attribute, or it could be just how much food they had access to. But I'm making their substrate here, where I'm taking some of their old substrate and mixing it in with some brand new substrate that I made, that's made like completely out of like spent lion's mane blocks, which hoping that will have like some cool effect on them getting all that neurogenesis, all the neurogenesis properties in them. So I have these all isolated and they're being run on this, and I'm also doing this experiment in conjunction with some slime mold, because I integrated some slime mold into the flake soil, and I actually am seeing really good results from that. So it's not negative. So as soon as it's like not, I see it's not like a bad thing, I'm like, okay, so what are they getting out of this? So I have my eye on that very closely, and you can see here I'm just isolating them, taking a few notes, and saying like what substrate that this bunch is on. And eventually I'll separate all these out, probably in a month or so, depending, because they're getting kind of big for 10 in a cup. So I'll probably put probably split them up and give each one its own cup, and then I won't have to touch them for a while. But that's gonna take up some space. We'll see. So this is the lion's mane flake with the slime mold, the Foligo septica. Oh man, I remembered it. Yeah, Foligo septica. Because it kind of looks like what it sounds like, you know? Looks like Foligo septica. But yeah, got all those in there. That's only 7. They're all pretty big, but they're gonna dig down. They're gonna chow down on that, and I'll check on them in a couple weeks. Just because I'm not sure how fast they'll turn through all that soil, but once I start seeing the droppings on the top and it's consistently through, we'll get all that situated. So you can see with the final count, there's 10 in that one, 7 in this one, 8 in this one, 10 in that one, and in the first one there was 10, so there's like 44 roughly. I could have maybe missed one while I was pouring, but I tried to go through it pretty thoroughly. And these are pretty much the same larvae that I showed at the beginning of the video, but this is like a month later because I didn't get to get that video out, just because just had to wait on a lot of data, especially with most of my resources being dedicated to making kinshi for species I don't have just yet. and it's just a lot of back and forth with other breeders to figure out like what they need so I can perfect the substrate before they get here and I can't provide for them. So that's been like my biggest worry, and that was the same thing I was worried about for these guys with the flake. And I did enough research and actually fermented and prepped enough substrate that it turned out totally fine. And these guys, like, I was ahead of the situation, so I'm just trying to do that for the beetle larvae species that need that special kind of substrate before I go and like house them here. So but yeah, this has been like a little update on what's been going on. It's been a lot of the same, but everything's growing in size. And with Momo passing, I cleaned out her breeding bin, and you know, I have even more eggs in here. So this is like all the substrate that was in her breeding bin, and there's a bunch of eggs in there. So I have to go through that eventually, but I think I'm just gonna leave it up to chance, where I'm gonna leave the substrate in cups, and then I'll just I'll harvest the larvae that survive later. But yeah, this is Shungo here, and he's still pretty strong. He's very chill, because he wasn't the one laying all the eggs. He was just having fun eating bananas and custom beetle jelly. But yeah, you can see as soon as I turn over the soil, you can see there are a bunch of larvae in there that are completely unaccounted for. So I put all of them in these 4 cups, and we'll check on them in a little bit. But thank you guys for stopping by. Be sure to like and subscribe, because you never really know what we're going to get up to over here. This has been Mycrodex, and I will see you guys very soon.